Did you know that the involuntary contractions during a leg cramp can generate up to 150% of your muscle's force? That's enough to cause damage. If you're tired of being woken up by agonizing leg cramps, you need to know the real reason why they happen, and it might surprise you. Picture this. It's 2:47 in the morning. Everything is quiet. And then out of nowhere, a searing, twisting pain rips through your calf muscle and jolts you awake. You grab your leg, you try to stretch it. The muscle is locked so hard, it feels like it might tear right off the bone. And just as suddenly as it started, it slowly lets go, leaving behind a dull, bruised ache that stays with you for hours, sometimes for the rest of the next day. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Nighttime leg cramps affect somewhere between 50 and 60% of adults over the age of 50. And yet, most people who suffer from them are still doing the exact same things their doctors told them to do, drinking more water, eating bananas, stretching before bed, and wondering why none of it is working. Here's what I want you to understand right up front. It's not working because those solutions are aimed at the wrong problem. The real cause of your cramps has almost nothing to do with dehydration, and it has very little to do with potassium. Stay with me because what I'm about to share changes everything. Now, before I get into the science, I want you to do something. If you've been suffering from leg cramps for more than a few weeks, drop the word cramps in the comments right now. I read every single comment, and I want to know how many of you are dealing with this. It helps me know what to make videos about, and it might just help someone else feel less alone. So let's start at the beginning. Most people, and unfortunately many doctors, think of a leg cramp as a muscle problem. The muscle seizes, so we blame the muscle. We stretch it, we massage it, we try to relax it. But here's the thing that almost nobody is talking about. Your muscle is not the one causing the problem. Your nervous system is. Let me say that again, because it matters. Your muscle is not broken. Your nervous system is misfiring. Here's how it actually works. When your body wants a muscle to contract, the brain sends an electrical signal down through the nerves. That signal triggers a flood of calcium into the nerve and muscle cells. Calcium is essentially the on switch it tells the muscle to squeeze. Now, once the muscle has done its job, something needs to come along and flush that calcium back out so the muscle can relax. That something is magnesium. Magnesium is the off switch. It acts like a pump, physically escorting calcium out of the nerve and muscle cells so that everything can return to a resting state. When there isn't enough magnesium in the system, the calcium stays. The nerve keeps firing. The muscle keeps squeezing. And you wake up at 2:47 in the morning wanting to scream. This is the mechanism, not dehydration, not potassium. Calcium trapped in the nerve because there isn't enough magnesium to push it out. And here is where it gets even more interesting, and where most of the confusion around this topic comes from, because I know what some of you are already thinking. I had a blood test. My doctor said my magnesium levels were fine. I hear this constantly. And this is exactly where the medical system has been accidentally misleading people for decades. If you've been told your magnesium is normal after a standard blood test, I need you to hear this carefully. Less than 1% of the body's total magnesium supply actually circulates in the blood. Less than 1%. The other 99% lives inside your cells, in your bones, in your muscles, and in your organs. And here's the critical part: your body is completely obsessed with keeping that tiny sliver of blood magnesium stable. It will do anything to protect it. The moment blood magnesium starts to drop, your body immediately starts pulling reserves out of your bones, out of your muscles, out of your organs, to top it back up. So, by the time a standard blood test shows low magnesium, it means your body has already been quietly raiding its own internal stores for a long time. You're not slightly low, you're severely depleted. The blood test is the last thing to fall. So if your blood magnesium ever came back normal, it tells you almost nothing about what's happening inside your cells and muscles where the real action is. Now, if you're finding this information useful, please hit the like button right now. It really does help other people find this video, and it only takes 1 second. So we've established that magnesium deficiency is the true root cause of most nighttime leg cramps, and that blood tests are unreliable at catching it. But that naturally raises the next question. Why is magnesium deficiency so incredibly common? Why is it that so many people over 50, even people who eat reasonably well, are walking around severely depleted in one of the most important minerals in the human body? The answer is a combination of factors that almost nobody has put together into a clear picture. And once you see it, you'll realize that for many of us, magnesium deficiency isn't a diet failure. It's actually almost mathematically inevitable unless you're actively doing something to counteract it. Let's start with absorption. Even under perfect conditions, the human gut only absorbs somewhere between 30 and 40% of the magnesium that comes in through food. That means that even if you're eating magnesium-rich foods every day, you're automatically starting with a significant loss right off the bat. But as we get older, the situation gets worse. With age, the stomach naturally produces less hydrochloric acid. Magnesium needs that acid to be properly ionized and absorbed through the gut lining. Less acid means less absorption. Full stop. Then there's what's happening to the food itself. Modern large-scale farming has depleted the mineral content of topsoil so dramatically over the past century that studies comparing crops grown today versus crops grown 70 years ago show that many vegetables and grains now contain 30 to 50% less magnesium than they used to. And then there are the anti-nutrients. Foods that are often marketed as healthy dark chocolate, raw spinach, almonds, bran cereals contain compounds called oxalates and phytates. These compounds bind to magnesium molecules in the gut and carry them out of the body before they can be absorbed. It's not that these foods are bad. It's just that the magnesium they contain is essentially locked up and unavailable to you. On top of all of that, and this is the one that surprises people most, stress directly causes the body to dump magnesium through the kidneys. Every time your stress hormones spike, your kidneys increase magnesium excretion. And caffeine does the exact same thing. For many people over 50, a morning cup of coffee combined with daily background stress is quietly flushing a meaningful chunk of their magnesium down the drain before the day has even gotten started. Certain medications make this significantly worse. Proton pump inhibitors, the acid-reducing medications that millions of older adults take for acid reflux, dramatically reduce magnesium absorption. Diuretics cause the kidneys to excrete far more magnesium in the urine. Metformin, statins, and some blood pressure medications are all associated with lower magnesium status in the body. This doesn't mean you should stop any of these medications. Please never do that without talking to your doctor, but it does mean that if you're on one or more of them, you are at a substantially elevated risk of magnesium deficiency. And you should be actively doing something about it. I want to pause here for a moment because I realize I've thrown a lot at you. And I want to say something important. The cramps aren't your fault. The depleted soil isn't your fault. The medication side effects aren't your fault. Most people suffering from nighttime leg cramps are doing everything they've been told to do, and they're still suffering. And the reason is simply that the advice they've been given was pointed at the wrong target all along. That's not a personal failure. That's a gap in mainstream medical education, and we're filling that gap right now. But here's where I need to warn you about something, because even once people understand that magnesium is the answer, there's one more enormous pitfall that causes them to try magnesium, feel no difference, and conclude that it doesn't work for them either. The type of magnesium matters enormously, and I mean enormously. This is the piece that most articles and most videos completely skip over. But it explains why the research on magnesium and cramps looks so confusing from the outside. About 80% of the clinical studies that found no significant benefit from magnesium supplementation used a form called magnesium oxide. On paper, magnesium oxide looks great. It's cheap. It's very high in elemental magnesium by weight. And it's in virtually every generic supplement on the market. The problem is that magnesium oxide has a bioavailability of approximately 4%. 4. That means if a tablet says it contains 400 milligrams of magnesium, your body is actually absorbing somewhere around 16 milligrams of that. That's not a meaningful therapeutic dose. That's essentially nothing. It goes straight through you. And then people say magnesium doesn't work, and they give up, and they go back to suffering through cramps every night when the real problem was never the mineral itself. It was the form. The form you want is magnesium glycinate. Specifically, pure magnesium glycinate, not a blend that uses magnesium glycinate as the label draw, but quietly mixes in magnesium oxide to bulk it up. This happens more often than you'd think, so read the ingredient label carefully. With magnesium glycinate, the magnesium is bonded to the amino acid glycine, which allows it to travel through the gut wall via a completely different absorption pathway, one that isn't dependent on stomach acid, which is exactly what older adults need. Bioavailability is significantly higher, and it's extremely well tolerated. Unlike magnesium citrate or magnesium oxide, it doesn't cause digestive discomfort or loose stools at therapeutic doses. Now I want to walk you through exactly how to use it, because there's a right way and a wrong way. And most people are getting this wrong even when they found the right form. The first thing to understand is that the body can only absorb and process a limited amount of magnesium at one time, roughly 150 to 180 milligrams per dose. So, if you take a large dose all at once, the excess isn't absorbed, it either creates digestive problems or gets excreted before it can do anything useful. You need to split your total daily intake across multiple smaller doses throughout the day. Take some in the morning with breakfast. Take some with lunch. And then, and this is the part I really want you to pay attention to, take your largest dose in the evening, right before bed. Here's why the timing at night matters so much, and why this alone might change how you sleep. Magnesium supports the production of GABA gamma-aminobutyric acid, which is the brain's primary calming neurotransmitter. GABA quiets the nervous system, helps lower body temperature, which is one of the main physiological triggers for falling into deep sleep, and makes it easier for your body to transition into slow-wave sleep, the truly restorative phase. So, taking magnesium glycinate before bed serves double duty. It works directly on the muscle-nerve cramp mechanism, and it simultaneously improves your overall sleep architecture. A lot of people who start taking it at night for cramps are genuinely surprised to find themselves sleeping more deeply than they have in years. Now, there are two critical cofactors you need to know about, because without them, magnesium cannot do its job properly even if you're absorbing it well. The first is vitamin D. Magnesium and vitamin D are deeply interdependent. Magnesium is required to convert vitamin D into its active form, and vitamin D helps regulate how magnesium is absorbed through tissues. If you're deficient in vitamin D, and at least half of older adults are taking magnesium alone, will produce limited results. You need both. The second cofactor is vitamin B6, but here is where you must be careful. Not all B6 supplements are the same. The most commonly sold form is pyridoxine hydrochloride, the synthetic inactive form. The liver must convert it to P5P before the body can use it, and in many older adults, this conversion is slow or incomplete. Worse, Taking high doses of the synthetic form while this conversion is stalling can actually displace active P5P, making things worse. So look specifically for P5P on the label. That's the form that works. One important note: if you have kidney disease or reduced kidney function, please talk to your doctor before starting magnesium supplementation. The kidneys excrete excess magnesium, and when that function is compromised, levels can accumulate to unsafe levels. For everyone else, magnesium glycinate at therapeutic doses is very safe and well tolerated. But kidney health is the one area where you need professional guidance first. Now, patience. I need to say this directly because it is the most common reason people stop and lose the benefit. If your magnesium has been depleted for months or years, which is almost certain if you've been having regular cramps, your body's cellular and bone stores are running at a significant deficit. Filling that deficit takes real time. Most people begin to notice meaningful improvement in cramp frequency somewhere between 2 and 6 weeks. People with more severe depletion may need 2 to 3 months before they feel the full benefit. Do not judge this protocol by what happens in the first 10 days. You didn't become depleted overnight. You won't recover overnight. Stay consistent, and don't let impatience rob you of the relief you're right on the edge of finding. Let me bring this all together. Nighttime leg cramps happen because calcium gets trapped in nerve and muscle cells, overstimulating them and causing involuntary, extremely powerful contractions so strong they can strain tendons and damage tissue. Calcium gets trapped because there isn't enough magnesium to pump it out. Magnesium depletion is nearly epidemic in older adults because of reduced stomach acid, depleted soil, anti-nutrients in food, stress, caffeine, and medication side effects all working simultaneously to drain the body's supply. Blood tests catch this problem only after it has already become severe. Most magnesium supplements fail because they use the wrong form. And the right approach is magnesium glycinate split into multiple smaller doses through the day. With the largest dose at night combined with vitamin D and active B6 in the form of P5P, taken consistently for at least 6 to 8 weeks before drawing any conclusions about whether it's working. If you want to know which vitamin D level to aim for, or whether your current medications might be blocking your magnesium, let me know in the comments. I'm already working on follow-up videos that go deeper into both of those topics. I want to leave you with one question to sit with tonight. Think back to the last time you had a cramp. Think about what that felt like, and think about what you did, whether you stretched it, walked it off, drank some water, grabbed a banana, and ask yourself honestly, did it stop the next cramp from coming? If the answer is no, you now know why, and you know what to do differently. If this video helped you understand something that you've been confused about or frustrated by for a long time, I really want to hear from you. Leave a comment below. Tell me how long you've been dealing with leg cramps and whether magnesium was ever something your doctor brought up. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to read to finally take action. And if you have a friend or family member who has ever complained about being woken up at night by leg cramps, share this video with them. It costs you nothing, and it might spare them months or years of unnecessary suffering. Hit like if this gave you something genuinely useful. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, and take good care of yourself. You've earned it.